Do you know that Igbo people were the first iron and blacksmiths that ever existed in Africa and even in the world at large? They did not learn it from anybody. They were already making irons for themselves without electricity and machines. In fact, even before the Europeans knew that there was a place called Africa, Igbo people were already making their own machete, hoe, and so on. They figured it out on their own, right from the earth that is beneath their feet. Now, let's explain the process that Igbo people used in making their own iron. First of all, in villages like Leja, Omo-Ndu, and Opi in today's Enugu state, their ground is rich in red earth, and this red earth is known as iron ore. This iron ore looks like a sand or soil, but inside of it contains iron. In order to get that iron out, they first built what we call clay furnaces. This clay furnace is a tall oven that is made by hands using mud. These furnaces were filled up with layers of iron ore and charcoal. I believe you know what charcoal is. So they did not use electricity or gas. Rather, they used what we call bellows. These bellows were made of animal skin and wood, and they were used to pump air into that clay furnace so that it can become so hot in order to melt the irons. After hours of burning this iron, the smithers will now bring out what looks like a heavy black lump. This heavy black lump is called bloom. This bloom is the mixture of real iron and waste. So they will now use heavy hammer to beat this bloom so hard in order to remove the waste. After that, what you now have is a pure, strong iron. After that, now comes the job of these blacksmiths. The blacksmiths were seen as magicians because with fire, hammer, and their skills, they shaped this iron into useful things like knives for cooking, hoes for farming, machetes for clearing the bush, even sword and spears for battles. And they also even make anklets and staffs, which were used for rituals in those days. The blacksmiths did not just work with tools, they also work with power. They were believed to have had spiritual strength because why not if not? They could control fire, bend iron, turn stones into metals. In fact, in most villages, special families were the people who were allowed to become blacksmiths because their skills were kept secret. It was only passed from father to son. It is important that you know that these iron tools were not just for works. They were also used for wars, while some were used as bride price, while others were used as a symbol of leadership or respect. Iron for these Igbo people during those days were not just metals. It was part of their life, culture, and belief system. Archaeologists found piles of slag at Leja in today's Enugu state. Slag means waste gotten after smithing. And according to archaeologists, they said that this piles of slag has been there for over 2,000 years ago. This simply means that Igbo people have been smithing iron when other parts of the world were still learning how to. This shows that Igbo people in Igbo land had their own science, their own technology, and their own way of life. They didn't wait for Europeans to come. In fact, before the Europeans could come, they have already built a system that worked for farming, fighting, and faiths. So the next time you see hoe or machete, never think that it was an European idea. No, it was an Igbo invention, innovation. It came from Igbo people's wisdom. So an Igbo man, iron was not just a tool. It was a spirit, it was power, and it was life. Let me know what you think about this conversation in this video. I hope you've learned one or two. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button in order for you to be the first to be notified anytime we drop a video. Make sure to hit the like button and also share. Thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. My name is Uche and this is GZTV.